All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. Hope you made some money. And with that being said, let's get into some TA. All right, guys. So we did close out SPY today with an indecision candlestick. We got a long-legged doji here on the day after yesterday's wide-bodied green bar. Pushed straight up to resistance, closed right at it after selling off right about there, and it looks like you rejected there again today. We do have Jackson Hole on Friday. I do think that will be moving the market higher. I can't imagine SPY coming all the way up here, breaking above the 0.786 fib. I cannot imagine that happening, and you're going to get within $5 of an all-time high, and you're not going to break out to a new one. I can't see it happening, guys. So, with today's candlestick, it does open up the scenario that we're going to consolidate right around where we are here, or we're going to have a mini pullback here into Jackson Hole, and then that event could very well bring us back over here. It's either going to be Jackson Hole this Friday that brings us over, or we're just going to say, screw this consolidation here. We're going to bust up to new all-time high before the event. We got three things that's going to happen here. You do it before Jackson Hole, so before Friday. Okay, you do it on Jackson Hole, or you just wait till next week. I think it's next Wednesday is going to be Nvidia earnings, and that's going to be your catalyst. I do think Nvidia earnings is going to be a beat. I think we got a lot of rocket fuel just waiting. All right, guys, a lot of these stocks really haven't recovered back up near their all-time highs like SPY is right now. SPY and QQQ, they're gonna rocket ship if these things really start getting liftoff. I will point out a ton of these in this video. All right. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking for into Jackson Hole, guys. This is what I think is going to be the most likely scenario, because I think that's going to be a positive catalyst for the market. And now that we have this indecision candlestick that, right off the bat, I'm thinking is going to suggest, a pullback starts here, or we get just a few days of consolidation here before we base out here above this 556.74 level. And then we're going to move higher. All right. That's what this candlestick is suggesting to me. Because again, in the back of my mind, I know we're going to be taking out 565.16. If we know that and we go into all these pullbacks knowing that, then we know to take advantage of them. This pullback is going to be a buying opportunity. I'm just going to point out, you don't even have a 15-minute bearish divergence on here. You don't have a 1-hour bearish divergence on here. You do not have it. But what you do have is clear as day rejection to 559.63 level right over here. That's the low of this candlestick right there. All right. Am I off by? I am. I'm off by 1 cent. I just realized. Look at that. 62. I was off by a penny. Look at that, guys. All right. I ain't perfect. You ain't perfect. No, we're not perfect. It's okay. It is all right, guys. But as you can see, we're kind of just consolidating here in a flag-like manner. And, we got a few charts that are set up like that going into tomorrow. But yeah, SPY is definitely one of them. You're consolidating right underneath the 559.62 resistance there. You clearly see rejection there, rejection there. If you peak above there, guys, 562.10, that is going to be the next spot. That is, you got a straight up gap until you get up, over there. You have a straight up price gap here. You have nothing. Okay, from here down to here, you have nothing. And, in between here and here, you also have nothing. So what are we going to do? We're going to mark out the top, because if you do take out the high, you're very likely just going to push to the next point of resistance. This is going to act as a magnet. So, guys, on the upside is resistance. We have 559.62, 560.84 above there, straight shot to 562.10. By the time you do that, maybe you consolidate around here. But you know what? We saw what just happened. This move turned out to be the counter trend move. This thing is explosive. Guys, it's coming up here. Okay, so, if it comes up to 562, maybe it consolidates here and then pushes up, but it's very likely just going to push up. We saw what this thing, can do here. This was leg one. There's been no pullback along this move. You can argue that there's this, but, along this move, you had multi-day pullbacks, okay? Then you had another impulsive leg down, pullback, all right? It took its dear sweet time when it was running up. I remember it, okay? And then it went to elevator down. Well, guess what? Actually, it took the stair steps down and elevated up. All right, guys, this thing went in Uno reverse. Okay, imagine you're pouring water out of glass. All right, and you're gonna rewind the video, so you're gonna watch in reverse. Well, that's what's happening here. Okay, you're slowly pouring it out, and then all at once you're going to play back speed like 10 times 10, and boom, that's what we have right here. It's an explosive rally going all at once. The weekly chart, we knew what this was suggesting. It suggests a new all-time highs. You don't do this, all right? That doesn't turn into something that usually gets faded. I have one example here where it does get faded, but you still do get, all right, some continuation there. Right over here, that is actually the example I have that it did get faded, okay? But you got continuation over here. You typically just don't put in these wide-bodied bars here on the weekly time frame without a mark and some bottoms. We clear as day had the daily time frames all showing RSIs at 30 across the board. It was no surprise about this thing that's coming right now. There you go. But yeah, so that's resistance, guys. I do think we're going to be breaking out to a new all-time high. As support, guys, we have 556.74, 554.87, and underneath there, we're going to come down to the hourly time frame for this one. All right, you got 547.91. All right, so well, I skipped the level. Okay, 556.74, 554.87, 551.70. Okay, you know clearly. This is where you rejected over here. You did not get an hourly close above that level. You faded under it right there. And then you clearly see this is where the buyers had to hold twice, but technically 3 times. Okay. You held here, broken retest. You came back for right here. That's where you opened, it looks like. And then you came up and then boom, you hit it with the retest on the next hourly candle. And you still held it. All right. So, you know, the reason we know these levels are the levels we should be paying attention to here, they should have our focus, is because they have reactions off of them. All right, that's your levels are where you should be putting your attention, and that's that. So support 556.74, 554.87, 551.70, under there 547.91. I don't think we are going to be revisiting all the way down there. I think we're probably, like I was pointing out, probably just consolidated above 556.74 for a few days. Maybe we get a range between here and down there. Maybe we even pull all the way back to 554.87. But like I pointed out, guys, you don't have an hourly bearish diverge right now. You really don't. With this move right here, you have that. And typically when I see that, you're going to see a pullback or consolidation, and then you're going to run up and put it in. All right. You see how you didn't have one right here. You broke it. Okay. You could have been looking for a pullback, but the second you break it, look for the pullback, but then on that pullback, look for the bearish divergence to be put in. That's what I look for here on this hourly time frame when I don't see them. Okay, you got one right here before you had, a decent sized pullback here. Right as you were taking out this high, you knew it was likely to be a failed break above. Okay, and then you did get, a relatively decent pullback. Point is, we don't even have that for that $5 pullback that took place over there. We don't have that. Okay, we have none of that. We can assume it's going higher. You also don't have them on the 15-minute time frame as well. You don't have any bearish divergences. So again, pullback is buying opportunity. Look for it to run up and take out that high, and then eventually 565.16. By eventually, I mean probably over the next week. That's that. QQQ, moving on. Daily time frame closed out. Same look at the SPY. You closed out right here at your support though. All right, so you did close above it. That is, a good thing right there. We're going to have to see how you open up tomorrow, guys. Again, this could be just a day of pause here where we just keep running after it, or we're going to have this little pullback / consolidation. Maybe SPY consolidates and QQQ pulls back here just because SPY is looking so strong compared to QQQ. All right, QQQ is still in the golden pocket, guys. From here to here, we should be expecting sellers to step in and give us a little pullback. That hasn't happened so far. I understand it didn't happen in SPY, but at the end of the day, 586.40 right here at the 0.786 fib. That is, that's the line in the sand. Okay, you get over there, buyers are going to take it up to the high. You hold it there, sellers have a shot. That's sellers' last stand right there. They got to hold. Okay, but as resistance, what do we have, guys? 482.33, which did provide, resistance today up there. We have that going on there. You have above there 484.43, and then I'll just tell you 486.40. That is the level that, I would be sending my alert right here, because really, we're going to say, yeah, right around here. If you push up that close to it, you're probably just going to take it out. With what SPY is doing, all right, the fact that one of the indices is already going to all-time highs, the other one is going to fall. And then, we come over here to DIA. We'll go over that one next. We're going to come over here to QQQ again after that. But just to show, You know, this one's now coming all-time highs. It got clearly above the 0.786 fib 2 days in a row now. It wants to go to all-time highs. I don't care what anyone's going to tell me here. There were plenty of people that got, you know, years of experience on me. Okay, like I'm talking 10 to 20 years of experience. I saw them on Twitter, you know, some just older people. All right, and guess what? These people got it wrong. Okay, and at the end of the day, I just know my system works. Okay, you break above the 0.786 fib, that's buyers, you know, chance to get in the door right there for a move to a new high. That's how I see it. Okay, up until that point, you look for your divergences when you're in your golden pocket. And that is when you're like, okay, we have a solid shot here. We're going to be selling. We're going to be getting a pullback here in the gold pocket. Well, guess what? That's not here on the indices. So that's that. As support, guys, you really have nothing underneath 480.14 until 476.42. All right. And underneath there, you got 475.55 and then 473.82. Now, like I said on SPY, I don't think we really get that deep of a pullback here. But, you know, clear level that stands out here to me is 475.55. So that's something we'll be paying attention to. And that is that. As I'm just going to point it out again, as it just said on SPY, you don't have any bearish divergence here. This is the hourly time frame. We're going to come over here to the 15-minute time frame. You also don't have anything. What we do definitely have is this, you know, consolidation here. You actually did have a little, you know, pennant here shared with the Discord earlier. And, you know, I thought that would be giving us our next little decent move here. You did get a little decent move. I was kind of thinking it would probably be bringing us up to the high over here, or it would start, you know, breaking us down all the way back over here to 475.55. Guess what? You're kind of still in just no man's land in this little range we got going on here. But I will say it's consolidating in a bullish manner. I like that. Okay. You know, just I was assuming you're probably going to run back up the high if you could take out this. You actually stalled right, you know, literally right here. Let me put my magnet back on. Magnet back on. All right. So if you could break over 481.34, you were definitely going to retest 482.33. And you did not do that. All right. You stalled that right there, guys. So underneath 480.14, watch for a move down to 476.42, but you know, just as a little break stop right there, a little pit stop, 478.55, that is support. If you break under there, just expect this $2 move to take place. That is that. You have absolutely nothing between here and here, but remember, this is consolidating after having a leg up. All right, so you know, it more likely than not is going to have an upward resolution, but again, I'm also going to point out how things look. We had that indecision candlestick. We know we don't have a big catalyst until Friday. And, you know, we got some of these big boy charts suggesting we definitely could be pulling back. So, you know, let's just call it how we see it. And that's that. We know we're going all-time highs over here in SPY. We know we're definitely going higher. Okay, now that we got all the way up here, I'm just calling it like I see it. We also can see this thing looks like it wants to, you know, either consolidate here, all right, for a little while before it breaks up, or it's going to pull back, and then it's going to push back up with more force, and yeah, it's going to go there. So that's that. All right, so DIA, I know I already shared my thoughts over here, but you did get above the 0.786 fib from this point on. 413.86 is very likely going to be taking place. 412.01 is your resistance. I'm actually going to mark out yesterday's high. Above 409.32, look for a move up to 412.01. Above there, 413.86. As support, what do we got going on, guys? All right, we could actually just come over here to the hourly time frame, point out, you know, the levels that we're seeing here. All right, 407.37 underneath there. We're probably going to be getting a move back down to 405.63, and that is just what I would be paying attention over here on DIA. But you know what? DIA is not what I like to trade. I'm a QQQ trader. I like to trade the big boys, and yeah, that's that. Not the Dow. IWM. What do we got going on over here, guys? So you did get above this, you know, heavily traded zone here. It was going to be acting as supply as we're coming back into it because we lost it. It was supposed to be acting as demand as we retested over here. You gapped underneath it. It acted as supply, came back down. All right, like all the way back down. Had 100% retracement from this move, which I think is insane. Okay, but now you come back up. We're gonna see. All right, is this gonna be the new range right here? Pretty large. We've definitely seen these large ranges. That is a $19 move right there. This would be $30. So, you know, expanding the range, maybe we'll see. But yeah, levels to be paying attention to now that you are above that zone. Expect to be treated as demand. So if you come back down into 212.25, expect buyers to step in between 212.25 and 209.77. Okay. Support 212.25, 211.28, 209.77, and then 207.96. But you know, from the looks of it, I think it probably wants to continue higher and test at least 215.85. So that's that. Resistance 213.98, 215.85. 217.72. That's that. Now, VIX is the one I pointed out the other day. You know, going into this week, and I think I pointed out in yesterday's video, guys, all right, VIX, this is your heavily traded zone here. I talk about these things on VIX, you know, decently often when we're coming into them. Expect reactions to happen at it. It's been happening I've been following this exact one for a very long time now. This is, you know, typically you don't move. I literally pointed out, it was either yesterday's video or the weekly update. I know for a fact. I pointed out this exact thing I'm talking about right now, this concept. You don't come into this zone without getting a reaction to it. By that, I mean, you don't come into it without getting a rejection there, and then you pull back and then test it again, like this. Pull back, test it again, more rejection. Oh, more rejection. There you go. Or you'll break above it and come back to retest it. You will not go right through it without getting some sort of reaction here, like we were doing over here. You just won't do it. All right. So you see what I'm saying over here? You got above it here. Oh, there's no reaction. Well, what happened next? You pull back into it. And then you went above it again. What happened next? You pulled back into it. Right over here, we're pointing out, hey, you know, you're probably going to be getting a reaction over here since you have this hourly bullish divergence going on. Probably going to be getting it right here at the bottom. You did. All right. You got it right there at the bottom. So this is when I pointed out when you had this divergence going on right here. You actually did end up going lower after that, and you put another one right at the bottom of our zone, and now you're pushing up to the top. So these are the reactions, guys, that I'm gonna point out over here on VIX when I'm seeing stuff. Hourly and 15-minute bullish and bearish divergences typically do bring us, you know, our short-term tops and bottoms before these bounces and pullbacks, guys. So that's something we will continuously call out there. VIX is now starting to perk up here. We're going to see what happens here at the daily 9. All right, that is a spot. Once it gets under it, you know, we can expect sellers are going to be there. I know you can't actually, you know, sell the VIX or buy the VIX, but you can clearly see it follows TA just like anything else we cover on this channel. So, you know, we're going to treat it as such. So I'm going to talk about it in the same way. Sorry if that gets you mad. Some people have gotten mad over the last, like, I think I've been doing this 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now. I don't know. When was the first update? No idea. Go back and look. They've definitely changed a lot. Moving on, guys. All right. So we're expecting a pullback here. Pullback consolidation. It is likely, guys. Just get that through your skulls. I'll get that through my skull. We're going to keep this in mind, but we're also going to keep in mind we're probably going all-time highs, and that's that. All right. Now we're finished with the indices. We're going to go over the chips. All right, guys. So you did push up to the 0.618 fib. 250.85 was my target here once you broke out. We've been calling this out for a while. We called it out right here. You end up getting slapped down, slapped silly. And I was like, oh, that's okay. That's fine. We'll be back. And guess what? We are back just, 2 weeks later. Okay. 3 weeks later. Freaking buttheads. Look at that. So yeah, that's the thing, guys. Now you are back up here at 250.85 and the 0.618 fib. We pointed out in yesterday's video. That is where we are going to be expecting sellers. Expect sellers between 250.85 and 255.92. That is going to be your current supply zone that we're paying attention to. If you can get above 255.92, you're probably going to test 264. And at that point, you probably do just come to 270, which means you get above this 0.786 fib. And then that makes this likely. So although we're going to be looking for pullbacks at each one of these levels, if you could take out 264, you have a gap in price between here and here. So, you know, I've talked about this concept on other tickers. Guess what? We actually talked about it earlier. I think it was on SPY. Gap in price, you are probably just going to, this is going to act as a magnet. You're probably going to keep pushing towards that next area of resistance there. So if you do take that out, all right, you're probably going to take this out. If you take this out, you're probably coming up here. So expect the pullback right here. We're probably at the end of the day coming up here. So, maybe it looks something like boom, a bing, a bop, a pause, like that. All right, pullback, buying opportunity. So this trade right here, that's what you're going to be ready for now. because we just went over what we did. Congratulations. There you go. But yeah, reject 250.85 support. All right. I'm going to mark out the low right here. 243.29 underneath 243.29, 239.14. That's where we're paying attention to. All right. You know, if you want a level right there, 247.34. Underneath 247.34, you watch 243.29. Underneath there, 239.14. Nvidia, guys, we pointing this spot out. Like spot dead on. The high guy it's 130. All right. We pointed out if you get up here, this is the last stand for sellers. They have to hold you right here. Well, guys, 2 days in a row now, we've had sellers right there 130. All right. They have held you right there exactly at 130. The 0.786 fib is right above 130. It's at 130.02. All right. From that high down to this low. This thing is probably going to break. All right. Like we're probably getting up there. All right. And if you do get up there, even for a day, and then you pull back, doesn't matter. You got up there. This pullback that happens, it's a buying opportunity. If we see this, it's a gift. It's a gift. I will mark an alert just in case I forget it's a gift. But then I'll see that alert go off and I'll be like, oh my God, this is, you know, this is what I was talking about. That's what now we're ready for it. Let's do it. All right. Because, you know, when things look bad, things, they usually look pretty bad in the moment. But you got to take a step back. You got to realize, okay, all right, there's a bigger picture that we got to think about. That's that. Like on all these little pullbacks, you know, at the end of the day, we know we're probably going to continue higher. That's that. This thing is pushing up over here. If it pulls back, it's a buying opportunity. Resistance, guys, 130 above there, 130, 139 above there, 136.15, then 140.76. At the end of the day, I think this is going to 150. I stated it the other day in my video. I'll state it again. You know, post earnings, guys, it very well could, you know, go to 150. I'm just saying, if this thing doesn't do terrible on earnings, and if you guide up, then this thing is probably going to rocket ship and have another one of these big boy earnings, and people are going to lose their crap, man. They're going to be like, oh my God, it happened again. There's another 10% move on Nvidia. What happens if it even gets 10% from where it is right now, guys? You're right here at all-time high. If you get it back up to all-time high, you're probably going a little higher. You're probably not going to stall out here. And if you pull back here, again, gift, buying opportunity, that's heaven right there, because then you're going up to actual heaven, up to 150. All right? Boom. Money. There you go. Avgo. We didn't talk about support over on Nvidia, guys. Support is 127.05 and then 124.69 under there. If you can't hold there, you really have nothing in between here and down there at 118.04. Avgo, another beast in the making over here. You're holding the line. You're just consolidating, guys. All right? You're just consolidating. You're resetting some of these oscillators here. You do have the bearish divergence going on there on the hourly time frame right here. Okay? You're stalling out right there at 166.85 resistance. But what I will point out, guys, is this thing doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. It also just got this downtrend break. When you break a downtrend like this, first things first, I look for you to test the golden pocket. That's like number one in this setup is you look for it to test the golden pocket. It has tested the golden pocket. You've gotten above here. Because you've gotten above this golden pocket right here already, above the 0.786 fib, it makes this level, this retest right here, likely. That is at 176.55. If you get to 176.55, what is going to happen? You guys know what's going to happen? All right. That means it's going to break this 0.786 fib. And at that point, it's coming to 185.16. All right. I saw someone say golden pocket freaking inception in the comments. I love you. All right. I love golden pocket inception. We had one of those literally the day you said it. I saw it. It was 3 golden pockets in a row. I was like, oh my God, he said it. Golden pocket inception. Well, you know, this in a way, this is also golden pocket inception. When you use the golden pocket in your everyday trading, you'll learn to use it just like I do. And now you could see right here to down here. Well, you took this out right here on this day, which means you're probably coming up here. All right. So that would be 161. So now you just mark out the next golden pocket. All right. Which, you know, the clear one to me would have, it's right here. So you look for sellers here at 0.76 fib. And if you know you get above here, you're probably taking that out. And at that point, you're going to take out the whole freaking, the 0.786 fib right here from the whole move down. And that's what you really want, because then you're going to a new all-time high. So if you want the short version of what I just spent, you know, probably 3 or 4 minutes talking about, guess what? This thing's going back to all-time highs. Very likely it's going to all-time highs. And that's that. Support 161.33, 156.40. Resistance 166.85, 173. Get above 173. You know, you're probably coming up here, but 176.55 is that next level. We actually can mark that out right there. Okay, 172.81. Expect sellers right there. I'll mark out one other level, 169.13. AMD. All right, guys. Now this picture freaking perfect. You guys want to talk about golden pocket inception right there? Boom. First of all, first round of buyers stepping in at the golden pocket. All right, you got a big boy bounce. All right, what happened? You pulled right back to it. What happened? You got a big boy bounce. Okay, and now you've made your way all the way down to the 0.786 fib. This is buyers line this in, and since then, you've gone all the way back up to the next golden pocket from here up to here. That is the move that you were looking for. Okay, once you got out of it over here, you were looking for this move to take place. $18, but in reality, you knew that this was, $30. That was on the table there. You've now gotten rejection right there, and you have printed that, spinning top looking candlestick. Hey, it's not looking the best in the short term for AMD. I would have to assume you're probably going to get some downside here. We knew you were expecting sellers in this, zone right here, 153.64 to 157.05. And above there, we're definitely expecting sellers at 162.51. Well, guys, where's the high of day? 162.04. All right, you pushed right up over here, and you found sellers sitting right around resistance in that 0.618 fib. That makes perfect sense. Now we're, back in the zone. You close within the supply zone. Guess what? We look to 153.64 to be held. If it doesn't get held, though, you're probably revisiting 148.78. But if you can consolidate here, it's not the worst look to then push up and retest 162.51. You probably take out that level and run to the next spot, which is going to be 165.05. And above there, you really got nothing. Okay, this I'm going to mark it out just because this is probably a move that we could take advantage with weeklies. This to this is probably going to come really quick. Same day action right there. $4.50 move. That's something we could, we can look to take advantage of. If you test this again, you probably get up here. If you get above there, right there, there's that. And then again, right here, there, you get above here, you're probably running up here. Price gap action. SMCI. Okay, guys, broke out of this downtrend, and now it's literally just consolidating. It's going sideways, 3 trading sessions in a row. Finding buyers on the daily 9 EMA. We like to see it. I personally think this thing is going to hold right here and then bust up above 636.98, and then it's going to run and take out these levels here, 671, 730.01, 762.63. Support, guys. All right. Yesterday's low, 595.28. Underneath there, 582.46. All right, that's what I would be paying attention to. Really I don't know, guys. We got a big day across the board loading. My assumption is going to be to the upside. But if it's the downside, 547 over here, 10% to the downside. So, hey, we'll see. TSM. All right. Again, sellers in the golden pocket. You broke above this resistance. It is now flipping into support. You found buyers there after breaking above. You found buyers there. You found buyers there. That's 3 times in a row after it got tested. You found buyers supporting it there. You also tested the daily 9. I have to assume you're probably actually going to be bouncing off of here. This thing actually, it looks bullish, guys. It doesn't look bearish. I know where you're selling off from. I understand. But, if we just look at, the psychology of this thing is buyers holding the line. It's kind of looking picture perfect. Pull back to your short-term moving average. You pull back to, your break and retest level. You have held it 3 times now. Okay, 3 times. And now the day you went underneath where you went the other days is the day you tested the 9 EMA and you found buyers there. That typically happens before you bounce back. Not saying, that's going to happen, but, this chart isn't the best to represent that, but I've certainly seen that, this candlestick setup, we'll say, lead to further upside. Candlestick / structural setup lead to further upside. All right, guys, but support 171.54 underneath there, 167.67. Resistance, guys, we are just going to say 176.82. If you start running back up, you're probably just going to push there. You're not going to get back right here. You're probably not going to get back right here and then fall flat. You're probably going to get back right here and then push up to next resistance, 176.82. That's TSM, MU, guys. Consolidating here, guys. Same old story over here on the semis, honestly. 105.72 and 102.17 is your support. 111.34 and then 116.34. Above there is your resistance arm. All right, guys, you came up today. You found sellers off of your supply zone today, 135.41 to 145. This is definitely going to be your big spot. I'm pointing this out on the weekly time frame. This is the clear spot you got to get above. And we have another chart that looks exactly like this. Is Microsoft. Not exactly like this, but it looks very similar. Like, 145 here. That is like the 430 level over on Microsoft. You got to get above it, and you open up. That's the key there for like a big move. All right, so if you could get it, it'll be real nice. But you're clearly rejecting so far off of the supply zone. It makes sense. You pulled back. All right. See if you can find buyers off of 125.98. That's support underneath there, 118.50. Spec sellers, if you can run back up to 135.41. Okay, guys, at this point, these 4-hour RSIs, they really have gone out to overbought territory. We can clearly see it likes to pull back when these things test it after, a big sell, and then you test it, you pull back, you run back up, you test it, you pull back up, you test it, you pull back, you test it. That was the same one. You test it again right here, okay? Pull back, and then you just decided to, hey, we're going to stay in overbought territory for a while. We haven't hit that phase yet, all right? It's coming, but it's not yet. And at that point, guys, we're going to come back over here to SPY. Same concept over here, guys. This thing hasn't, finished up yet. It just got up here. It's going to pull back, all right? And, even if we see this 4-hour RSI literally reset like that, and we see it like that, it's setting up to go to a new all-time high. So we got to keep that in mind, guys. That dip is going to be a buying opportunity if we get it. So let's keep it in mind so we can, keep the money printer going and benefit off of this rally, all right? If you were like me and you had to, just sit through red, sit through, not doing anything and just sitting on hands and a whole lot of just boringness because, markets were just doing that, and you don't want to play the thing short. If you were like that, then hey, now's your time. All right, and I'll point out how to take advantage of that. I'm definitely better on the long side than the short side. So I will show you how we could take advantage of it as it comes. And that's just what I'm pointing out right here. If it pulls back, we're gonna be looking at that as a buying opportunity. Like, let's say it really did pull back, $15. So it'd be back testing this downtrend here, right here at a key level here. It would probably look real good. Okay. I wouldn't want it to get down there. I want it to consolidate and then move up. But, either way, it is setting up for a buying opportunity. We got to just be ready. If it comes, that's that. All right. So QCOM, you got your supply zone sitting right above 177.59 to 184.31. Expect sellers up there if it gets tested. I'm going to set an alert right here just so I know if it's getting tested. Reject there. Expect to come back and retest 173.27, but as of right now, that's your resistance, 173.27. Okay, for the short term, you could use 175.43 and then 177.59 above there. Your support, guys, gonna be down here. Okay, 170.61, get under there, 165.89. That's that. All right, and if you come back down there, that is where I would start liking it again. Big boys. All right. We're going to actually start off with Apple here. Apple, guys, you're just coming up here to the 0.786 fib, and the fact that it's just still staying up here, it tells me it wants to break above it. We saw SPY break above it not too long ago. This is, one of the largest components over here. Probably going to be, breaking above the 228.40 spot and running back up to 237.23 and then to a new all-time high. This is another thing that broke that little downtrend we had going on here. You retested. Big retest we had here. I'll just show you the weekly time frame. All right. Big double bottom we had there, okay? And you did have the measure move right away. You didn't pull back to the neckline like I thought was going to happen over here. I thought that was going to be the case, and then we were going to take advantage of it. No. You had a big old move, and then you got the retest, which suggests, guys, this thing is about to have another leg up. All right, the fact that it's coming all the way up here, now it's consolidating right under here, underneath the 0.786 fib, is probably going to be breaking above 227.78. And then next resistance above there is going to be right here, 230.44. Then above there, you're probably just running for 237.23. Thing doesn't look bad by any means. If you pull back, 222.27, 222.27 is your support. That is where I would, look for buyers to start stepping in there. I wouldn't personally want it to get all the way back down there. I think that would not be the best look, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm going to just mark out this level right here. There's clearly a spot that, is being respected there. So 224.48 support underneath there, 222.27, then 220.33 on the upside, 227.78 and 230.44. Microsoft, all right, I pointed out, big spot, same thing, same look over there as ARM. 430.82 is a very clear, big spot here. If you get above it, you're probably gonna, probably make it a clear shot up to 445.66, but I imagine you're probably gonna run back up to new all-time high. Clearly see this is where sellers are. So, that's really going to take you the next little punch here price. And, if their punch is not strong enough and this thing just goes right past it and just eats it like a punching bag. Yeah. All right. Kudos to them. We're going higher. That's that. Daily time frame, though, let's just point out. I'm actually going to start with the hourly time frame. Come down here, regular hours. Point out 423.64. Use that as your support right there. Break that 421.78, and then under there you really don't have much until 417.27. You clearly see this is where your range was. So look for, you break under here, you open up the possibility to going down there, right there. All right, so levels here on the hourly time frame that I would be using here, right there. Resistance 425.85, and then on the upside, expect sellers around 427.70, we're going to say, and then 430.82 above there. Support 423.64, 421.78, 419.68, and then 417.27. So, if I was just trading this intra-week, that is what I'd be paying attention to. Amazon. All right, this thing is something that's really just consolidating here. It's starting to break up. It looks like, this is like an ascending little triangle pattern going on here, or a rising wedge, whatever you want to look at this as. It looks like it wants to break up, though. I'm going to be completely honest. You're consolidating here, holding your 176.80 support here. It was supposed to be resistance, but, you broke above it, and you do look like you are now breaking above the next resistance at 178.34. Hold above there, guys, and then you break above this spot right here, 179.38. You're probably just going to come straight for 181.22, and that's that. All right, so support 176.80 down here if you can't hold 178.34, and then resistance 179.38, 181.22. Meta, guys, you're still just consolidating here. I told you probably do get the upward resolution here. I know it's not looking like that right now, but at the end of the day, this thing is not going to push up to all-time highs here. This is like, let's look at it this way. You pushed here, slightly went above it, okay? Then you slightly went above it over here. Second test, okay, after establishing it over here. Then you have the third test, and you didn't even break above it. We got two things that could be happening here. Which, honestly, there might be a big catalyst right around the corner or something like that. Or catalyst, maybe it pulls back. Maybe it's not going to break above it. All right? Because let's look at it this way. Supply and demand. I just, thought about it as I was saying it. And, maybe this contradicts what I was saying. Maybe it doesn't want to bust up. Nah, it definitely does, all right? I've seen the charts too many times. And, this is something that's going to end up in an upward resolution. But I will also, point out here, oh, it's like this. This is exactly what I was. This is the same concept I was talking. So established it right here. Slightly higher, marginally higher. You came all the way back down, and then you went marginally higher. All right. You had an impulsive move right around the corner. I don't know if there's a catalyst over here. I don't think there was, but you had the impulsive move just loading. I still think it is loading over here for Meta, but I do want to point out, guys, people aren't willing to buy it up here. You need a catalyst. All right, you need a catalyst, a hype catalyst that's going to make it so people want to buy it above the, 530 level, because so far people don't want to buy it after this test right here. You don't want to buy it on that test. You don't want to buy it on that test, and you don't want to buy it on that test. that's honestly, you know, psychology wise, that's not the best thing. So without a catalyst, I don't know if Meta's really going to do anything crazy. That's just how I'm looking at that. And that's that. You know, you got a lot of levels right here. I'm just going to clean up the chart. Resistance 531.49, 537.48, 542.81. Support is 523.86. Underneath there, we're going to use the high of that candlestick at 518.34 and then 510. Goog, this is you know, what I think is setting up for the, you know, biggest rip here. I am just going to say up here 175.91 to 178.21. That's what I'm looking for. Came up here to 170.97 today. You didn't get quite there, but you got 170.41. That's not the worst look right there. I know you have a, you know, you have a shooting star candlestick right here on the day. You do have decreasing volume on this little rally here. You could be pulling back to 166.70. Honestly, like that could be what we're getting here. I would say, you know, if you can't hold yesterday's high at 168.47, that's when you risk coming all the way back down there to 166.70. What I do want to point out is this thing is getting ready for a, you know, bigger bounce here. This is the daily, not the daily, the weekly 9 EMA. It's right above where you're, you know, stalling out here. You know, maybe it's going to take a little while to get above that, but I am going to just say this thing did just break the downtrend. This thing did, if you come over here and you put on the MACD, it did just have a bullish cross, just like if you come over here to Tesla. You just had your bullish cross literally 2 days ago. All right, I know it's going to pull back, but I'm going to point out, all right, why I'm looking to buy more Tesla here. If we pull back here, I'm going to point out the pattern that I'm ready for. Okay, but we're going to finish talking Goop first, okay? You just crossed. You're in oversold territory down here. We're going to be seeing a larger bounce here. It's just typically what is going to happen. It's not looking bad at all. You almost hit it with a massive break and retest. Maybe you crash back down. I highly doubt it at this point. But, you know, this thing could come back to test the daily 9. If that happens, it's probably going to be, you know, it's probably going to be right around 166.70 because it's going to be tomorrow. And then this thing's going to get dragged up by price. Or it's going to go down to it. So, you know, meet me halfway kind of action right here, 166.70. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. But, you know, I'm looking good over here in Goog. I think Tesla is about to be giving us a opportunity. But honestly, guys, clear as day, this thing's coming up to 175.91 to 178.21. Probably taps 180 because 179 is the 0.618 fib, and that's sitting right there. 182.73, that is your clear as day resistance right here where you broke down from. But you can see right here, this is, you know, a zone that should be respected if tested. So, you know, scale out right here if tested. This is your first spot. And that's that. That's that on Goog, guys. 168.47 underneath there, 166.70, 163.08 underneath there. But, you know, I don't think that's going to be tested. 170.97 is resistance above there, 175.91. Tesla. So this is the opportunity I really want to talk about right now, guys. I think this thing is getting ready for something massive. Monthly candlestick is really looking really nice. This is about to be perking up here. I know, you know, it's not going to move exactly like that, but I will point out that is, you know, doing that thing. What I really like here is that, you know, we're just going to take this thing out of the equation there. Just put on the MACD. All right, guys. So this thing just crossed, right? Well, let's just look at, you know, some of these other times where this thing has crossed. So that was the first day right there, over here, okay, over here. And I'm using examples where you're like down over here where you are right now. Okay, you're down over here. Okay, you come over here. All right. So on these first days, okay, they usually come with the green day. Okay, they come, you know, with price dragging it up. It's dragging this thing above that thing. So it's, you know, it's coming from a green day. That's that. You see what happens next? You pull back and then you go. Okay, we can, you know, I saw this. Okay, so this is the opportunity right here that I'm ready for. I'm ready to load Tesla on this pullback. You know, I already started, but you know, I think Tesla's going to be a big payout here, and that's that. Okay, I pointed out right when it had the fresh downtrend break, and it's been, you know, treating us well ever since. This thing is doing nice. I think you're gonna. I shared my thoughts in the weekly update. I think you're coming up here. You know, 240 is right above this 237 level. 230, that was, you know, the psychological level that I think is going to be tested. I know, you know, it doesn't really align with anything clear on this chart, but that is the psych level that I know is probably going to be tested on this rally. You got really close to it within $2 today, and I think it probably is going to be tested over the coming trading sessions. Give it, 2 weeks. I think we're probably going to be somewhere in this golden pocket, and that would be that. All right. This thing just crossed. We could get a massive rally, but you see what I see? You pull back, and then you continue. Okay? You pull back, and then you continue. You pull back, and then you continue. So that's why I say give it 2 weeks, because, it could take a week and a half of consolidation. I don't know, right? But at the end of the day, we're going to get an impulsive move. It's going to pump the crap out of our premiums, and let's get it. That's the game plan. All right? I know it's not much of a pullback, but you pull back, and then you went up, and then you pull back, and then you went up again. Same story over here. All right? Green day, big spike up, caused the cross up. And then you pull back, and then you had a really impulsive move to the upside, okay? And, what happened over it? We can even look at this one. I'll look at this one, okay? What happened? You consolidate, and then you had the impulsive move, okay? So look for the pullback over the coming trading sessions, and then what are we going to be looking for after that? A spike. What do we do on that spike? We scale out of the position. Why? Because it could be something like this where you just have 1 day of spike, and then you die. All right, you don't want that, okay? You get a pullback, and then you rally. Okay, guys, we could keep going on. This is a pattern that happens over here on Tesla. This time it didn't. This time it died. This is the bear market in 2022. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. That's that. But yeah, guys, that's a lot of MACD crosses there, and that's a lot of time here where we've had that pattern. All right, guys, that's almost 2 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 occurrences where we have respected that pattern of pulling back and then rallying. So yeah, be bullish on this pullback. I don't think it's going to cross back down. I think we're going to find buyers either off of 220 or 214.71. So I'm watching 214.71. I got my alert down there. I'm ready for it. But yeah, resistance is going to be 226.79, 233.09 above that, and then 237 above there. That is what I got for you guys on the big boys. And we're going to come over here to Bitcoin, guys. You're trying to break out here, okay, of that, daily little downtrend I pointed out. You're trying to do it. They just don't want you to win, buddy. They just don't want you to win. No, they're not. They don't want you to win. But over here, guys, right here, weekly 9, rejection. You want to get above there. So, I'm going to say you got to reclaim 61,809. If you can't do that, you're probably going to get above that. You're not probably. You're going to be above the weekly 9. You want to close out above this level right here. And then you're probably just going to push the next level at 63,794. Right now, guys, same thing, all right? Got the daily MACD crossover here, all right? The thing looks like, it's being held back here, but it wants to rip. Maybe some more consolidation, but I think it will end in upward resolution. You come over here tomorrow and thing is about to cross right here, and it did start breaking out of this downtrend. I am long. I like it. Okay. And if it pulls back, I think it's going to give you a better opportunity. And if you do end up getting a pullback into, let's say, all the way down here, 1418, let's say this thing dies, beautiful opportunity. All right. And that's that. But, right here, the setup kind of does look immaculate. And I do think you're probably going to be coming up here and testing this uptrend you broke down from. I think you're probably going to retest it. So that's that. Things are looking pretty good. You broke above 1628. You're basing above there. You're basing above the 9 daily EMA. I love it. Okay. Move up to 1780 is likely from here. Break above 1712. You probably do see this move right here, 70-cent move for you, up to 1780. Above there, 1878 is likely going to happen, that retest right there. All right, so at the end of the day, from current price, this is, Henry's target he's putting on the board, 14% move from current price. I told you about the opportunity when we broke out over here, and now I'm going to reiterate myself right now. CLSK, all right, same exact thing. I'm not going to call it the same look. Mars looking, I told you, immaculate. CLSK is not looking immaculate, right? CLSK is kind of contributing here to the downtrend, okay? But now we do have a downtrend that we could be paying attention to. And if you do end up breaking above right here, I'll put on my alert 1720, not 1720, 1220 right over there. If that alert gets hit, guys, all right, or 1210, wherever I got that alert. Yeah, 1220 right there. If it gets hit, you're probably going to be breaking out of this downtrend, and that's the setup I want to be paying attention to. from that point, 1390 is probably going to be imminent. All right, 1391 and then 15 after that. And from that point, guys, we'll just mark the high of today, break above here. So this is the setup loading right here. You got the daily MACD cross. I don't watch this too often, all right? But I've started just leaving it on my Weeple chart, so I will be seeing it when it happens, all right? And at this point, right now, we're getting a bunch of them. And, you know, we got a bunch of confluence across the board going on right now, guys, for the upward direction. And I like to see it. That's that. But, you know, the setup here that's loading, we have a downtrend. You break the downtrend, get above the daily 9, break above 1243. You have nothing until 1391. So that's your momentum trade right there, or your little momentum, you know, day trade right there. You probably get a clean shot between here and here. But yeah, you're wanting to either get a good price down here, get a good deal, play this 1135 support, or you're waiting for the downtrend break, then waiting for a break above 1243. And at that point, you play this move right here. And honestly, at that point, it's probably going here. And that's a 20% move you could play by, you know, 2 months out. You're probably getting 100% on your contracts right there. And this is something that, you know, we can definitely see have more of a move there. You're probably getting more than 100% there. You're probably getting like 200%. I'll put the alert right there. And that is that. All right. Come over here. Coin. What do you got over here, guys? We're going to take off this MACD. Let's just look at price, guys. It's a whole lot of ugliness. You got a whole big old bear flag going on here. You know, it's just not looking the best. I'm going to be completely honest. How are we looking over here on the weekly time frame? You know, at the end of the day, you are just kind of consolidating after this impulsive move up. I have to assume you're probably going to be getting another impulsive move up. It's going to fall Bitcoin at the end of the day. And that's really that, all right? When I want to trade something, like when I see something at Bitcoin I like, and the miners don't have a setup, I'll trade coin. Other than that, I won't trade coin. I'll just, you know, wait for the miners to have the setups, and then I know Bitcoin's probably actually going to be moving up. When the miners set up, Bitcoin kind of correlates with them. So definitely something you could keep in your little tool chest over there for the shots. Yeah, Mara dictates Bitcoin sometimes, and that's that. But yeah, coin, guys, this thing is just going to fall Bitcoin. So that's all I'm going to suggest here. If you are, you know, going to trade coin, just be paying close attention to Bitcoin. And for that, all you need to know, guys, break out this downtrend and break above 61,809. You're probably getting a larger bounce here. And, you know, we probably, you know, push up to 65K from there, probably even 70K. All right. Because at the end of the day, this thing's probably going to be rebounding from here. Screw this MACD over here. What we did have was our RSI hitting oversold territory. If you come back down, you have the golden pockets in here. So guys, this is probably your low. Probably not going to break that low. But that's what I have to say. All right, so that is what I got for you guys today. DKNG did start breaking out of its downtrend today. So I did point out this was a trade idea shared with a break above 31 bucks for the move up to 34.40 to 35.30. Today, you just about hit all my TPs over here. You hit a 1, you hit a 2, you hit almost a third. I'm out, baby. I do, you know, I think this thing will probably keep moving. If I had to take a guess, it just got the daily downtrend break. You have increasing volume on the day. Only thing I don't like, first of all, supply zone. Second of all, confluence spot right here is the downtrend break. Also, this is where you broke down from. So, you know, you got 3 levels, you know, of confluence right there. This was your uptrend that you broke down from. This was, you know, you got a downtrend right there. Sometimes when we see downtrend breaks, you'll consolidate. If you got, you know, supply sitting above, consolidate or pull back. I could see pull back to 33.51. That's, you know, that would make sense to me. The other spot I could see a pullback to is going to be down here at 32.42. If it does get that pullback and it takes like a week, I will probably take that setup. I would like that one. That's that. I'll just put the alerts just so we're ready for those. But yeah, guys, that's DKNG over here. Next one I will point out over here is CELH. You did break out of this thing over here. I adjusted my little trend line just to, it's a trend spider on Twitter post. And I was like, oh, you know, if he's looking at it like this, yeah, I see the pattern like it. I could see it. Touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point. I could see it. You hit it with the break and retest, and now I want to point out you're just kind of consolidating here. All right, so you're consolidating on the 9 EMA. That is not the worst look. it could actually be turning a leaf over here, and we could very well start seeing a move up here to 45, and then above there 48.11. Okay, I got my alert, so I'm ready to take the trade if it comes. I'll do it in small size. I don't trust CLH, but yeah, maybe we'll do it in the little challenge account, and that'll be funny. That'll be fun. But over here, guys, you break above 42.52, 45.03. That is the level that you were going to be paying attention to. You probably do get a very quick move here. 8% move for you. FSLR. Pulled back into my level today. I did get both of my alerts hit. 219.67 is that level that you're breaking retest level. You are holding it so far. If you cannot hold here, though, what are we going to be paying attention to? Golden pocket down here, 210. All right, so I got my alert. I'm ready to, that's where I would want to take advantage of it. I don't want to buy it up here. But I will point out, it definitely has a setup where it's at right now. We got the inverse head and shoulders pattern going on right here. So that is something I'm seeing right there. You have the clean fallen wedge breakout. I mean, I already had it. I didn't need to draw it there. So you got the inverse head and shoulders, falling wedge breakout there, downtrend break, whatever you want to look at this as. You're stalling out here at resistance. That's expected, guys. Always expect sellers to come in at resistance until that, level is broken. That's, just the mindset of what I think a successful trader is. I think that's how every successful trader is going to be thinking of things. You just know where certain things are going to happen over time. And this is where you expect sellers. This is where you expect buyers. There we go. You break under there, you expect buyers down here, right? And that's what I would want to take advantage of. Okay, but if you can push back up, break above 232, I also got an alert for that, because from that point, you're probably going to see a move from here. There you go. There you go. Moving on, Netflix. All right, broke out new all-time high today. This is one I was rather fond of at the bottom. All right, Netflix over here on the downtrend break. All right, this was on the focus list last week. This all happened so quick, guys. This happened so flipping quick. All right, but you did have the fresh downtrend break going into last week. And hey, break above 639, you had a straight shot up here to golden pocket. You're probably going to have a straight shot up to 664.50. You did do that. You started, consolidating right around there. And then what happened the next day? All right, you broke above the 0.786 fib, even though you found sellers there the day before. You knew that was the respective level. You knew that was the line in the sand. You broke above here. You knew it was likely coming up here. Up there, right there. If you came up here, you're probably just taking out the all-time high and making a new one. That is what has happened now, guys. Pullbacks are buying opportunities. I highly doubt this thing is just going to continue zigzagging right here. It is probably doing, we actually saw this over here when we were looking at Meta, where you were zigzagging, and then eventually you got an impulsive move. That's, kind of the same exact thing I'm seeing over there in Netflix. Probably getting ready for one of those guys. All right, so pullbacks are buying opportunities over here on Netflix. I'm just going to mark out my levels, all alerts at my levels, because it is probably going to be pulling back here. And I will see if we get a setup to play. Probably not, though. Probably not. We pointed out the A+ setup when it came. We just kind of got a fresh wave, right? We're on a hot streak, guys. we're on. I was sitting in bag holding, but we're back and we're on a heater. I'm actually on a big heater right now. It's a nice one. But honestly, guys, we had a bunch of A+ setups that set up across the board, and now we're just seeing them play out, and we're gonna have to wait for things to give us them again. That's why I spent some time early pointing out the pullback buying opportunity, because we just had these A+ setups that we pointed out, and now they have started to run. Like one that I think should be on everyone's top watch right now. Ooh, guys, if it pulls back, this is your A+ setup to pay attention to. This is what you could be paying. This is what you could be playing. It could be paying. You could be playing. It could be paying. You could be staying in the trade. All right. If it pulls back, guys, it's just like this downtrend break just started. It's going to push up here. Just wait on it. All right. So if it pulls back, just wait on it. Have that mentality. The patience will pay. All right. I got a bracelet. I had these made not too long ago just so I could, look down at my wrist and see it. There's a fish on it. or, you know, it's something I say to myself is just keep swimming, because sometimes things seem really bad and, you know, you got to just keep swimming. All right. And I thought it would be a great reminder just to look down and see a fish on there. All right. So that's on one side of the bracelet. And then on the other side, it says patient pays. Patience pays, because I know I'm sitting at my desk, or if I'm out and about, I'm watching my phone, and, you know, we're always going to be, we're sitting there trading. All right. We're going to, no matter what we're going to do, we're probably going to be trading every day. So I want the reminder that patience does pay. All right. And on swing trades too, patience pays. If you know you are in winning positions, when everyone was sitting there, you know, I listen. All right. At the end of the day, I blocked a crap ton of the haters, so I didn't listen to all of them. But, you know, when you got people, when you're sitting in red and you got people, you know, just being little dickheads, we'll call them. All right. And you know you're in a winning position, and they're telling you, no, the market's going to crash. And I'm like, no, nothing's setting up like that. All right. You got a small chance, but, you know, probably not going to happen. And you know you're in that winning position. That's when you know patience pays. All right. So, you know, maybe you want to order some bracelets to have the reminder too. But Goog right here, guys, patience will pay. You get the pullback, it's going to be a buying opportunity for the eventual move up to 175.91 and probably 180. 180 cycle level is very likely going to be tested. If you get to buy it off of 166.70, you just caught a $15 move. All right, not quite a $15 move, a $13.50 move. That's big boy moves. 8%. That's a lot of money. Doesn't matter how far you go out on your contracts, you're probably getting 100%. All right, you go October contract, you go the month after that. All right, you're probably December contract, you're probably getting close to that 100% mark. And that's like with a crap ton of time. You know it's a winning position. So guys, focus right there on Goog. And then the other one I want you guys to focus on right now is Microsoft. Tips are buying opportunities. It's printing bullish candlesticks. You got the increasing volume. If you see a pullback somehow into 422, that is going to be a nice set. All right. And I will like it. But I'm just going to say this thing is probably going to take out the 425.85 high and then push up here to 428 to 430.82 over the coming trading sessions. This thing is probably going to be doing that. So those are the ones with strength that I would be paying attention to, and that's that. And then Tesla, I already pointed out, that's the other one. I really like it on the pullback into 214.71, and that's that. All right, guys, I know I talked your ear off for holy sweet baby Jesus. It was an hour video. This is ridiculous. It's okay, guys. We did it again. We did it again. I had absolutely no idea until just now. I really thought it was like a 30-minute video. That's crazy. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy the video, our little market preparation right now, because, you know, things are moving and grooving over here, but we're hitting a little wall over here in the market. We might hit some consolidation for the next few days. All right. And then we're Jackson Hole, guys. We're excited for that one. We're probably going to be moving higher off it. We'll see. All right. But, you know, if you enjoyed our market prep to maneuver that environment there, the little tough environment we're in, hey, feel free to leave a like. I would appreciate it. It's the only way that I know to push these videos out to more people is the more engagement. All right, guys. So if you got comments, please let me read them comments. I will respond and heart your comments. More engagement equals more people can see these videos. More people see these videos, you know, our odds increase of people subscribing. And if that happens, our little corner of YouTube over here, it expands, and we'll have a party eventually. A party of 10,000 people, guys. It's going to be pretty fun, pretty crazy, pretty off the walls. Invite your friends, guys. We're going to have a banger. All right. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Hope y'all kill it, and peace.